another lovely picture of the color. So for today I've chosen birds and flowers. So I think it's going to take me a little bit of time to color this. So let's get cracking. There we go. There's plenty to choose in this picture. There we go. How is everybody today? Had a good day? Are you starting a day? Whereabouts are you? I am based in UK, and this time I am doing a very late slot. I thought I would try and see if anybody wants to join me for a little bit of coloring. There we go. If there is people who are joining, then maybe I will do this slot again. Let's see. Let's see if you guys like to color and watch me color. Just spend some time together. There we go. It's been a lovely day where I am. Having a heat wave. Doesn't happen very often, but we have one now. It's over 30 degrees today. That does not happen very often where I am, but it was brilliant. And because it was so brilliant, I didn't manage to make a live earlier than this. So you need to make the most out of it when the weather is good. That's how I think. There we go. Going for the flowers first. I'm using similar colors than in a flower that I've actually seen in a nature. And when I'm saying similar, I do really mean similar, not the same. I think what I would need to do is to get myself a set where I've got better selection of these colors. Then I could do a wider selection of coloring as well. It would look more interesting. But let's see how this goes. Anybody who's out there who's very much into coloring themselves? You guys like coloring? Or are you mainly sort of interested in watching other people color? What is your thing? What gets you going? Yeah, that is not going very well on top of it. Yep. A bit more. There we go. Not exactly what I was after, but getting there. And then there we go. Right. And what I'll do is I'll do a little bit more. Darker on the edge as well. There. Like I said, today we've had a very hot day here in UK, and the heat still lingers. And because the houses here are not really built for hot, to be honest, they're not really very built for cold either, but it just means that it's very hot even during the night time in the houses. Popo is saying wow, that's very kind. And Giovanni is saying hi. Hello everybody. It's lovely to see you guys here. It's always nice to have somebody to talk to. There we go. I think I will just go and do a similar one. There. Yep. So I'm feeling quite toasted. It's been a hot day, and you know, I'm one of those people who don't get brown. I just turn red. I look like a prawn. Yeah, not necessarily a great look. But what can you do about it? That's just me. Anybody else with the similar problems? It's always nice watching other people getting perfect tans. And then you're the only one prawn-like in the room. Either pasty white or just like a prawn. Hilarious. Especially for the other people. Yep. Guess not much you can do about it unless you really want to go and take a fake tan. But with my luck, I would probably just turn orange. Completely orange with very little tanning. So I decided perhaps the pasty was the thing for me. There we go. Yeah. More red in the middle. Then we're just going to spread it out a bit. I cut it with the other one. Oh, somebody, Nilda. Hello. You're saying hi. Hi, it's nice to see you here. Have you been here before? Why do I feel like I recognize that name? Either I'm going old and senile, or we've met before. I'm not quite sure which one. There we go. Yep. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go a little bit with that. Those are the colors that I just had before. Just going to continue with the same ones. If I can just figure out where I put them. Hello, Ego Boys, this one. And Ego Boys is saying it's first time you're seeing the channel. Yeah, it might be that because I'm normally doing a live at a different time. Very different time actually. Because I'm based in the UK and I normally do morning live. This time I thought, let's try an evening one. So other people from other parts of the world might be awake. Let's see if there are people who might like what I do. There we go. It's lovely to have you here. It's always nice to get to know new people. It's lovely that you've chosen to watch. Whether you're watching a short time or whether you're watching a long time, I love the fact that you're here. Thank you for coming. There we go. Going a little bit there. And then, where's the purple? You're subscribing. That's lovely. Thank you very much. And I hope you can come along another time as well. Oh, there it is. I'm looking. Where have I put the pen? There. Going a bit purple. So I have a similar plant in my garden. It's like a mix. Interesting mix of red and blue and purple. I think there's even a little bit of white in it. So this is something similar. There we go. And I'm going to do the same for this one. Very light touch of lilac. There we go. And then we need to decide, shall we go and do some of those plants? There's a lot of leaves to do. And then there's also, yep, so there's a lot of leaves to do. And then there's also these birdies. Right, what shall we start with? Shall we go for, I think, let's do a mix. Let's do a little bit of leaves. Let's do a little bit of birdies. See where we get to. Right. So let's double check the colors. That is quite dark. Let's go there. And start from the stem. There we go. Like that. I'm loving these leaves because they are very, how to say, they are They look like there's a hand that is gonna grab, isn't it? It's got it's not just a normal dull looking simple leaf. There's more depth to these ones. So we're putting a bit of color that makes it look like it's alive. There we go. And you look in the nature, some leaves, they're not really even colored. Look at my garden, and there's annoyingly a lot of yellow there as well. But hey, it's all different, isn't it? There we go. Right. And then going on to the other one. There we go. So are many people into coloring? Many people into arts in general? Quite love arts. There's something for everybody. Even for those who might feel like, oh, I'm not really an arty person. But there's just so many different types of things that you can do or you can like. So there's definitely something for everybody. There we go. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of yellowish green there. Just because it reminds me of my garden. Yellowish plants. There we go. Right. There's a little bit of a leaf. And I think I'll do the same for the other one. Then we will have a pair. But with this one, I think I'll do it a bit darker. Just to get it off the background, which is now almost the same color, isn't it? Because we've got the other leaf in there. There we go. There. Hi. Nilda is saying hi. Hi, it's great to have you here. Hearts. Hearts back. That's lovely. And Echo Boy is saying, keep going. Thank you. I'll try to do my best. This one is quite a big one today that I've chosen. But I thought it's probably nice to do something bigger sometimes. There we go. We have two lively leaves there. Then let's go for the other side and do some in here as well. I'm already thinking in my head what color the toucans should be. And I'm thinking on something that pops out a bit. So I think I might go more orange. I don't even know if those are exactly toucans, but hey, correct me if I'm wrong. Always learn something. I think I was wondering one day how long dolphins can live. I was doing a dolphin coloring and I was wondering, wonder how long these can live. And I just said, I think very long. And now I'm coloring the wrong part. Okay, we'll just go with that. Yes, somebody actually knew that they could live for a very, very long time. I don't remember exactly, but it was tens of years. Tens of years. I thought it was quite fascinating. There we go. There. So, how are you guys? Is it, what part of your day is it? Is it morning? Is it evening? You busy? Very busy? Not so busy? On holiday? That is always a lovely place to be if you're on holiday. Life tends to be so hectic that it's nice when there's some time off. There we go. And we're continuing. There as well. And a bit more. This is lovely green. It reminds me of forest. Big, big, big forests. You know, when you got big coniferous trees. Somehow, this green reminds me of those. And, of course, when I'm talking about coniferous trees, I'm also talking about Christmas tree. That green color reminds me of Christmas. Shouldn't really be talking about Christmas at this time of year. There's always somebody who says, oh, it's the wrong time. Yep. I do love Christmas. But yes. Let's just stick to it. Reminds me of coniferous trees. There we go. And we have another leaf here. Shall we continue with that color? There we go. And with that color, side by side. And what I will do is I'll get a little bit of the darker color into the lighter one, just because otherwise it just looks very, very light. Let's blend them together. There. And then let's continue. There. There we go. Right. Hello, we have new person online, I think. Welcome. There we go. Just going around and doing these leaves at the moment. There we go. We're going around and doing leaves and then advancing to the birds. There we go. How is everybody today? Are we having a good day? There. Right, and let's do the same for this leaf. Just getting them a little bit more together. Okay. Hello. You guys are very quiet. Hope you're having a good day. Yes, hope you're having a good day, and that's why you're quiet, because you're just quiet and content. There we go. Right. There. I think after this, yes, birdies. Birdies it is. Almost done with this side. I'll then go for the birdies. So it suggests some colors. I was thinking of perhaps some brown, perhaps some orange. We've got these green leaves in the back. We've got those pink and red and all those colors. It's just figuring out what would be the best companion. If you've got any suggestions, do let me know. My color palette at the moment is not very wide, unfortunately. Should get some more different ones, different colors. Then I could do some more adventurous coloring. There we go. Okay, so now we've got some greens, some green leaves there. We've got some flowers, and actually now that I look at it, I'm thinking that I would love to put some more color in those flowers. Somehow feels like it's not strong enough, and what I will do, I think, is go around and put some more red in them. There we go. Just so that they pop up better. There we go. Do you think that's getting better, or do you think that's getting worse? Any thoughts? There we go. I think what I will do is, yes, go around and put some more in these others as well. Sometimes it's easier to see where you're going when you've got some other colors side by side. And to me, the green now looks much more vibrant. It makes me feel like we need a bit more red here in this area. And one more. There we go. Now it's more red, and I think I'm liking it better. Okay, then it's doing the birdies. Where shall we start? Oranges, reds, yellows. Oranges, reds, yellows. I think let's just go straight in and put bold colors and the birds. There we go. One eye. Question is just, shall we do both birdies the same? Or shall we do them slightly different? Shall we do them completely different? Well, I guess that doesn't work because I've already done the eye with the same color. So we're not gonna, they won't be exactly different. Exactly different. Huh? They won't be completely different. So, yep. There we go. Toucan is getting some red around the eye. Then I feel like doing the beak with a bit of yellow. Let's go for that. There we go. All the background with yellow. There we go. And let's put some more yellow. Actually, let's do the other peak to the same point and then figure out where we're going to exactly put the yellow. There we go. I don't know how you guys are, but I sort of find that it's easier sometimes to, especially if you've got two that you're making the same, to sort of see it at the same point and then you decide. Okay, so I think I'm deciding that and that goes yellow. Let's do the same in the other one. There. And then what we're also doing is, I think we're doing orange again. Orange, orange, orange. Where's the same orange that I used before? Going and doing these with orange. There we go. There. And also let's do this side with orange. Feel like that dot should be a different color. Yep, let's figure that out soon. There we go. There. Like that. And I feel like putting something else in there. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just take my blue and making them blue. And I'm gonna do the same with the other one. There we go. Little blue dots. Okay. And then the question is, what else we're gonna do? And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue and do some part of this swirly with yellow. There we go. And let's do the outer part with red. There we go. And I'm doing the same with the other one. Two birdies with very decorative beaks. There. And again the same in the other one. There. Okay, getting there. We've got part of the beaks done. Okay. Let's continue. And I am thinking, let's do that part yellow. And this time I'm really making it proper yellow. Nothing light. That is a dark yellow. I'm doing the same for this other one. Slightly different shape. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll go again with the blue. This time the blue is slightly lighter color. There we go. There. Just so that we can get it here in the back. There. And we're also going to do this part with the same blue. There. How do you guys think that that looks like? It's blue. It's definitely blue. Let's go and do the other one. There we go. And also that part. And this thing at the top. There we go. Like I said, definitely blue. And one more. That part. Blue. And then what I would like to do is to find my orange that I was using. There it is. Like that. And we're also going to do the bottom part of it. Oops, I can see. I've not put the blue everywhere. There we go. Because there is blue in the other beak. It's just going to continue with similar system. There. And another. So now our birdies have beaks and eyes. Very decorative birdies. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of brown in that eye. Go, brown-eyed birds. There. Then, before I forget, let's do brown also here in the bird's feet. There. And we have the branch as well, where the birdie is sitting. think I'll just make the same brown, but this time I'll make it proper dark. So it looks like we've got almost two different browns. We've got light brown and we got this very dark brown branch where it's sitting on. There we go. Right. And what I think I'd like to do next is to color that leaf a bit behind here, just so that, yeah, I don't know if I've actually got a good reason why. I just like the idea of coloring it now. There we go. So that's why we're gonna go for it. There and there. Let's get some more dark as well. Yep. And there. Right. There we go. The leaf is starting to emerge. Not just little little lines anymore. We're starting to see the actual leaf coming together. There we go. And then let's go for the lighter colored yellowy. Yellowy green. There we go. Right. And let's continue that a little bit more. Like that. There. There. And now we're going to make that a bit more final bit here. There. So shall we continue with the leaves, or shall we hop on to making the toucans a bit more? I think I'll continue with the leaves. There we go. Little leaf. There. Let's make the other one the same. Looks like they're coming from the same plant. There we go. Like that. just noticed there's a third one that looks exactly the same. So let's go and use the same kind of color palette for that as well. Yep, there we go. Right. Oh, I'm at it again. I always miss something. But there we go. Going for it. Like that. There we go. So now we've got some leaves done. And yeah, I think maybe the birdies go next. What do you think? Shall we go and hop on to birdies? Continue the bird coloring. Right, so I had my main colors here. Main colors, but I think what I will do, I'll bring in some brown. Let's start with that one. There's a brown. And put a little bit of orangey red into the other end. There we go. There. And I'm thinking of going and doing blue. There. So we've got red and blue going together. There. And then let's do the same for the other toucan. So we've got red inside. Gonna continue red. And what we also ended up doing was we put the red outside. And then we put blue. There we go. Like that. And let's continue and do that little part as well. There we go. Yep. And what shall we do for this lower part here? I'm thinking actually continuing with the brown. Quite like the look of it. And I think I'll do the same here. Yep. There we go. Slightly different looking fronts these birds have, but that's fine. We're just gonna do the same kind of orangey mixing. There. Layers of different colors. And then also do the back of the head. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start it with a darker brown. And then lighten it a bit. Maybe put a bit more of that red here. There we go. Like that. Looks a bit like robin. We've got little birdies here in the UK that are called robins, and I think they've got this kind of colouring, but if I remember correctly, it's in their chest. Not so much in the head. There we go. And then, so we already have quite a lot of picture colored. It's just figuring out what else we're gonna do. So I've been using quite a lot of different colors here, and I am wondering what to continue with. I am almost thinking, let's do yellow here. Some lighter yellow. And do the same also for the other bird. There we go. Light yellow in the wings. There. And then, of course, I'm bringing it back. We are going blue again. There we go. Looks like I've colored a bit over, so that is starting to turn a bit green, which was not my intention. Maybe I need to get myself a new set of glasses so that I can see exactly what I'm doing. Oops. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do this swirly as well with the blue. Right, and then let's do the same for the other bird. Swirly one and swirly two, both blue. There. There we go. All the blue is now in place. Question is what goes down next. I think what I'll do is I'll do that little triangle in yellow. I don't know about you, but to me it looks like it just should be yellow. There. And then I think we'll continue in between these with yellow. It's a similar thing than what we have here. So I'll just continue with the same theme and then use possibly orange, one of the oranges in those things that look like tears. There we go. And then the same for the other. There we go. Yeah, that is a lot of places. A lot of little nooks and crannies to color. There we go. Almost a bit more. There. And let's continue with this orange. we go. Shall I do the top one first? There we go. All right. One birdie's wing, top part of the wing, almost done. There we go. Yep. Let's continue and do the same for the other one. There we go. Almost. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. And there it is. Okay. So now we've got most of the birdie's face. We've got most of the wings done. So now we just need to figure out what to put at the bottom of the wings. Any ideas? I am thinking we're gonna go back to oranges and browns and that sort of colors. But what I want to do though is to make these a bit darker brown. I feel like they're a lovely detail, but they've just disappeared there somehow. Disappeared completely in birdie. So let's make them a bit darker. There we go. Now you can see them a bit better. And the rest, let's do this lighter one. Rest of the belly. There we go. And there we go. And also this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a little bit of orange there. This time I'm going from the top rather than from the bottom. There we go. And again, going from the top rather than from the bottom. There. So there's the belly. And what shall we do for those final feathers here? Yep. Perhaps some blue, perhaps some couple of oranges. How are we feeling about that? Let's take a new orange. See how it looks like. Start with this one. The one that we know and we love. There we go. And there. And the same for the other bird. And I seem to be having the blue in my hand. Let's go and do some blue. go. Right, orange and blue going together. There. And the other bird, you're just gonna follow with the same. There. Right, do we feel like we need some more color here? Let's make it a little bit darker from the top. There we go. Actually, a little bit lower. Oops, I'm losing the. There we go. And then let's do the other one. There we go. There we are. So we still have these small parts here. So I'm thinking of going red. Red in the middle. Here I'm doing it the other way around. Wonder if anybody would ever notice. Be interesting to know. There we go. And here the other way around. There. And then this time I'm just gonna put a little bit of, actually where's the brown? Brown. I have let it go. Oh, right in front of my eyes, and I just cannot see it. There we go. Got a bit of brown. And then the final is going to be, I am thinking of yellow. There's my yellow. And we're gonna go bright yellow. As bright as comes out of this color. There we go. Bright. So that everybody can see this birdie's tail. There we go. And again. There. Very bright-tailed birdies. And then we just have a little bit of leaves to go. So that would be the next thing. Let's go and color some leaves. There. And I think what I was doing is I was normally doing with this color first. So let's do the same. There. And another one, which is the lighter color. And then we're blending some of the dark on top. There we go. Then we start to dark again from the end. There. And a bit of swirly. There we go. And light colored. Yellow, and let's go over so that we get a little bit of that light yellowish hue to this other one as well. let's go a bit over so that it doesn't look so badly contrasted. There we go. And getting there, guys. Almost getting there. Right. A little bit more leaves to go. There we go. And a bit more. Yeah. So today we're doing quite a long live session because I thought that this picture was lovely and it was worth coloring live. There we go. Let's go a little bit over. Yep. And we're going for the other one as well. Again, oops, let's go for the darker. Rather than going for the completely light yellowish, going for slightly different, which is this more bluish green. There we go. There. And another one. There we go. Almost done. Yep. And let's do that with the dark. So I'm going to have another leaf completed. So because I can't see, I keep coloring in a silly way. Ended up coloring a little bit of green on top of that yellow. There we go. There we go. And a small part, which I'm then going to mix together with this green. There we go. We've got a more yellowy start for the leaf, and then we've gone for these darker, more bluish greens for the older parts of the leaf. There we go. There. And I think that's already looking quite nice. We just have a little bit more to do, which is the last leaf. There we go. And I think what I'll just do is similar to what I've done to that. There we go. so close to that little edge that it's just hard to get in and do the whole thing close to the edge. But I'm trying, and I'm almost getting there. There we go. Like that. And one last stem. Oops, let's put some yellow. Let's put some green in there. That's what I meant to say. Not yellow. Green. It's green. It's not yellow. There we go. There. There. Oops. Just final parts left. There. Surely we're going to go and do that part as well with the same green. And then we just have a little bit more to do. There we go. Almost done. There we go. Wow. Ta-da! I think we are pretty much done. That was a lot of coloring today, but we have made a brilliant toucan and some flowers. Thank you very much for those who have stuck with us. It's been a long ride, but it's a beautiful picture. So if you guys like, please let me know. Thank you for your comments. Subscribe and like. Thank you. Bye.